Let's talk about something that goes against everything you've probably heard, and that is paying off your mortgage sounds like a dream, right? But for most people, it's actually a trap. Your wife or your husband has probably given you a shake and said, I just want to pay off the mortgage. And this is what we hear all the time from our buyer's agency clients. I just want to pay off the house. I don't want to worry about the house. I just want to get that paid and then I'll think about investing in property. And look, it sounds smart. It sounds like a sensible decision, but it's not the full story when it comes to property and investing. So what is the truth when it comes to paying off your house? Paying off your house won't make you rich. It just means your money is sitting there doing nothing. Well, it's not quite true. It is paying down the bad debt on your owner-occupied home, but could you be using your position to create a lot more wealth and a lot more choices in your everyday life? So let's unpack a little further about why paying off your house is a problem for a lot of Australians. Firstly, you can't use that cash anymore. Yes, there are redraw facilities out there, but technically that's using the funds for different purposes and can get quite messy when you use redraw and you use some for personal and some for investment expenses. The reality is you've given the bank that money and you have to request to get that money back. So that's definitely a big problem in my opinion. It's stuck in your house. Now, is your house really the best investment that you could possibly make across the 10,000 plus suburbs across Australia? Probably not. Now, as a buyer's agency, we're focusing on Southeast Queensland and Melbourne. Is your house in an optimal location that's going to outgrow the areas that we're buying in the buyer's agency? You need to assess whether it's going to beat those other options. Thirdly on our list, it's not earning rent or necessarily growing in value as much as other opportunities. Now, yes, your own home is capital gains tax-free and that's fantastic, but it's not giving you the cash flow that you might need to give yourself more choices in your everyday life. So now I've absolutely torn apart paying off your own home. What would I do instead rather than pay down the debt on my own home? I would do this. I would keep my cash in an offset account so I pay less interest. Or I would use that cash to build a secondary dwelling on some of my investments to boost my cash flow or for a deposit on another investment property. Now, I probably wouldn't build a secondary dwelling on my own home unless it was a full subdivision because granny flats on own homes tend to be a little bit messy. I'd rather keep my investments separate. But the crux of this opinion is that instead of paying down my own home, I'm investing my money elsewhere to grow my asset base further and give myself more chance for more compounding growth by controlling a larger asset base. The other big thing is that the debt on your own home is non-deductible, whereas the debt on your investment properties is tax deductible, meaning that the interest and all the other expenses reduce against your personal income, which is known as negative gearing. So let's now run through an example of how this offset account might work. So on screen, you can see a detailed example. Now let's say you've got $100,000 sitting in your savings account. You should move this money into an offset account on your $500,000 owner-occupied loan, which is, for example, at a 5.35% interest rate. You would then save $5,350 a year, which equates to $445 per month in terms of interest repayments. Remember that this is bad debt, owner-occupied debt. So that really your owner-occupied debt is $400,000 because you've parked $100,000 cash against your owner-occupied mortgage of $500,000. It's still your money. There's no taxes on the savings that you've made of that $5,350. Now, it could potentially lower your repayments, but not necessarily. It's lowering your interest, and it is potentially giving you more freedom because you have access to this cash as a big cash buffer to go on a holiday or do some repairs on your property or your investments, or potentially push some money into the stock market if you find a great opportunity. Hopefully not some crypto or Dogecoins. I wouldn't encourage that speculative type of investing myself. Let's take a look at another example where we go through that investment property opportunity. So you've got that $100,000 sitting in your savings account. That's enough to get you into your first investment property. And so buy a property in a growth area and earn rent from that property from day one. And that's exactly what we do with clients at Purpose Property. We help clients in Southeast Queensland and Greater Melbourne buy the right property for the right price in the right location. And $100,000 is enough. You could use the money for a 12 to 15% deposit plus costs, and I'd probably do a 12% deposit if it was my money, or a 5% deposit if you're a first home buyer. Now, yes, you could do 10% if you wanted to use some more LMI, and you can still have a buffer with cash left over for renos or emergencies in that $100,000 budget. Now, to be realistic with you, I just picked up a property in the Greater Melbourne region, which is a house on over 500 square meters for a purchase price of $480,000. Now, $100,000 of cash could be used as a deposit and some money go towards renovations for a deal exactly like that. And there are still houses that you can buy in Greater Melbourne in that region for around that $500,000 to $650,000 price point. And so head over to purposeproperty.com.au if you want to see our buyer's agency process and pricing in detail around buying in that Greater Melbourne or Greater Brisbane region. So why, in my opinion, do I think it's smarter to invest your money rather than necessarily pay down your mortgage? The key thing is that your property portfolio is going to go up in value if you have a larger asset base. It pays you rent. So investment properties help you with the cash flow, and it can be used to buy another property and another property if you gain equity in your own home and gain equity in your investments. The ideal situation is that your own home has lots of equity in it. Say you have $1 million property with that $500,000 debt. If that was me, I'd draw up $300,000, giving me $800,000 of debt in total against my own home. $500,000, which is owner-occupied debt, and $300,000, which is investment debt. I then use that $300,000 of investment debt to go out and buy smart assets with growth potential in that Greater Melbourne or Greater Brisbane market at this point in time. I would then look to add value to those assets, to have upside potential for minor developments, whether that's granny flats or secondary dwellings or subdivisions and townhouses. And from there, I'd look to slowly build my asset base, starting with growth assets first, and then looking to add more cash flow through secondary dwellings or buying unit blocks like I did to balance out my portfolio and to continue to grow my asset base. Now, what I see a lot of Australians do is they focus on just paying down the own home. I'll invest once I get my debt balance to zero. So in that case, you would have to pay off another $500,000 on that $1 million property to get that debt to zero. Instead, I'm saying draw up more debt on your own home, use those funds to buy more assets, control a larger asset base, and then sell down some of your investments in the future to pay off your bad owner-occupied debt. It's a lot of information in this video, but the beauty is you can go back and rewind and listen to it again and again until it sinks in. This is so key as to how I've been able to create over a $10 million property portfolio, and I've bought millions of dollars worth of assets just this year. I've bought 2 properties in the Melbourne market in the last week, another deal in Southeast Queensland, which has development potential, and I've signed a contract on a commercial property, my very first commercial property, for around $1.1 million this year, and bought 2 properties at the start of this year in Ipswich for under $700,000 each. And what's happening in my property portfolio is the snowball effect. When you start out, it's very, very hard to get momentum in your property journey. You have to save up the cash, you have to be diligent with the brokers and the banks, and you have to buy growth opportunities. Once you get momentum though, and you go from $1 million to $2 million to $3 million worth of assets, you build up more speed. 10% growth on a $3 million property portfolio is going to give you $300,000 of growth, whereas 10% on a $1 million property portfolio is going to give you $100,000 of growth. The reality is economies of scale starts to play out as you get more and more investments under your belt, and you can hold them for a longer period of time. This is exactly why I wouldn't be paying down my own home as a priority. I would be paying down my own bad debt and then drawing out the equity and drawing out the cash to go out and buy future investments, but I wouldn't be trying to get my own home to zero in terms of my debt position before I go out and buy investments. And this is the truth, that being debt-free on your own home doesn't mean you're going to be free in terms of your time and opportunities. I've seen lots of clients who have no debt on their owner-occupied home, but they don't have the assets and the investments giving them a reasonable income to actually give them freedom of choice. There's still rates, water, bills that all come with owning your own home, and then you need the income to live off, and you're not going to get that by just owning your own home. So you need to be smart and strategic about how you grow a property portfolio or how you grow your investments to make sure you have more choices for yourself and your family in the future. If you're interested in buying a property in either Greater Brisbane or Greater Melbourne with myself and the team at Purpose Property, head over to our website at purposeproperty.com.au. We've got myself and 3 acquisition managers and a growing boots on the ground team in each of these regions to help you buy the right property for the right price in the right location. I'm putting my own money in these markets myself. I've just bought 2 deals in that Melbourne region. I bought multiple 3 deals in Southeast Queensland this year, and I'm doing developments as we speak, ideally 4 big projects in Southeast Queensland. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and I will reveal to you more specifically about my purchases in the near future. And give this video a click right here because this is the one YouTube thinks you really need to watch next. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.